Christ all power to the Dealmania sale. Yes, it's back again, bros. And I'm out of yellow shits to tear, brother. Okay, back to normal. And good news, just as normal, I've gone through all of the games in the sale, and I found some really cool ones that are on a really big discount as well. So if you like the idea of finding cool new games to play, and saving a lot of money along the way, then you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe, and then you won't miss a good deal again. You're welcome here anytime. This sale ends on the 12th of March, so that'll be the last day to pick up these deals. Let's look at the games. First up, we have Absolver. It was released in 2017, so it's 8 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the low price of £2.49, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal for a unique game. In this MMO, you're trapped behind a mask in a dangerous land. To determine your worth in joining the elite corps known as Absolvers, you get to wander the Forsaken Lands, learning new combat moves, finding weapons and armor, and fighting duels and 3v3 fights. It features a combat system where you get to customize your moves through a unique combat deck system, making the fighting really different and unique, as you can have a lot of customization to your character, which is really cool. It's nice to see games coming up with something a bit different, and this deck system for creating your own fighting style is a really cool idea. Now, when this game came out, it was kind of a big deal, not really because it was a massive AAA game from a huge studio, but because of the idea of the game. It was pretty different and popular, and a lot of people were really looking forward to it. Now, when it came out, I don't think it quite lived up to the hype, so it had a bit of a downturn on launch. But hey, we're past the hype now, and people that play it seem to really like it. It's got really good reviews, and it's a really different online game that's very unique, and people really like playing it. Just keep in mind it is a bit old now, so there's not going to be a lot of people online. But hey, if you're okay playing on your own, on empty servers, or you've got a group of friends that you know are going to pick the game up with you, then this might be a really good game for you. And it may not be for everyone, but if you like the sound of it, why not take a look? It's a very different game that I think some people will really enjoy. And hey, if you've never played an MMO before, then I wouldn't recommend starting here. It's a very different and unique one. It's not very typical of the genre, and also it's old now. And like I said, there are reports that there's not a lot of people playing it anymore. So it might not even be around much longer either. You never know with these sorts of games. But hey, don't worry, there's plenty of MMOs around, and a lot of them are free as well. Like Neverwinter or PlanetSide. You've got plenty of options to choose from, both in the free section and also in the paid ones as well. So don't miss a video, and then you'll see if there's more options in future sales. I really like the look of this next game, Death's Door. It was released in 2021, so it's 4 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £3.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a pretty good deal for a really cool looking game. In this action adventure, you get to play as a crow that reaps souls for the underworld, but after a mysterious crow interrupts your reaping to warn you about a conspiracy within the reapers themselves, you must journey to reap 3 giant souls in order to open the Death's Door and find the truth within. I'm surprised I haven't heard more about this game. It's got really good reviews and it seems to be really well liked. But on top of that as well, the story seems pretty interesting and the gameplay looks amazing. The combat system looks really cool and it's even been compared to Souls-like games, which means the combat's going to be tough but rewarding. Either way though, if you're a fan of action games or adventure games, or you just like 2D top-down games, you might want to check this out. It looks like a very cool game and I think it deserves more attention. My gut says it's a gem of a game and it's just a shame more people haven't heard about it. So if you like the sound of it as much as I do, why not take a look? I'll probably pick it up at some point, and I really think a lot of people will enjoy this game, if you like this sort of thing. And hey, if you've never played an action adventure before, then I wouldn't recommend starting here. It looks like a really cool game for a pretty good price, but it's bound to be cheaper in the future, and there's a lot of other games that you can pick up that are bigger AAA ones for about the same price as well. So you have a ton of options to choose from, and you're probably better off starting with one of them instead. But don't worry, I'll let you know when they're on sale in future videos. I really like this next game, Dragon's Crown Pro. It was released in 2018, so it's 7 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £4.99, which is a pretty decent price. It doesn't seem to get cheaper than this ever, and it doesn't seem to be on sale that often either. So even though it's not the cheapest I've ever seen it, it's a pretty good deal, especially considering it's not on sale very often. In this beat-em-up RPG, you get to play as one of 6 classes, with both ranged and melee combat, as you explore dungeons, finding treasure and fighting monsters. It features enhanced 4K graphics for the PS4 and PS5, with enhanced audio and a re-recorded live orchestral soundtrack, which is really cool, and it even features 4-player offline and online co-op. So if you like games that you can play with your friends or at parties or online, then this is a good game for that as well. Now, I've had this game for a long time. I bought it back when it was on Vita, so I've played it on Vita mainly, and I absolutely loved it. I never got to the end of it, but I had so much fun playing it. It was really good. I really should dig my Vita out and go back and complete some of the games on that. I have finished a lot of them, and a lot of them are really good. So if you're a fan of old school beat 'em ups like me, and you want a modern one with really cool graphics, this is a unique one. Not only is the story and mechanics unique compared to most beat 'em ups, but also it's a new original property. It's not a rehash of old ones or a continuation either. So if you're a fan of old school arcade beat 'em ups like I am, then definitely take a look at this. It's a really cool game with some really cool features, and I think you'll love it if you're into this genre. And hey, if you've never played a beat 'em up before, then you could definitely start here. It's a really good modern example, and you don't get a lot of them these days, especially with good high quality production values. There are other options as well though, and a lot of them are from big legendary AAA franchises, so there is some hefty competition, and you could equally start with one of them instead. So if you're not first on this one, then don't worry, you'll have other options to choose from in future videos as well. Oh look, another beat 'em up. Dusk Diver. It was released in 2019, so it's 6 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £7.49, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a pretty good deal. In this beat 'em up, an unstable dimensional rift tears open in Taipei, unleashing gods and phantoms into the human world, and a local headstrong high schooler must step up with a team of guardians to protect her neighborhood. It features RPG elements and modern 3D graphics as well, which is pretty unusual for a beat 'em up. Most of them are side-scrolling and mostly 2D. Now, I've never heard much about this game, which isn't unusual because it's an anime game, and a lot of the Japanese ones you just don't get the same media coverage over here, compared to the Western release games anyway. But in general, they're usually a bit quirky and different, but a lot of fun, and they usually offer really cool different gameplay mechanics, and really cool and interesting story ideas as well. So if you're a fan of beat 'em ups and you like anime games, why not take a look at this one? You don't get a lot of 3D beat 'em up games, and this looks like a really cool one. Especially if you're into anime games, you might really love this game. So take a look at it if you like the sound of it. And hey, if you've never played a beat 'em up before, then I wouldn't recommend starting here. You can pick up other ones cheaper than this, and even bigger AAA legendary ones as well. So you're much better off starting with one of them instead. But don't worry, I'll let you know when they're on sale next, so don't miss a video. We have a really cool art style next, Grease, or Gris, who knows. It was released in 2019, so it's 6 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £2.59, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really good deal for a really cool and interesting looking game. Now, just so you know, there are two versions of this game. One includes the PS4 and PS5 version, and the other is just the PS4 version. So make sure you pick up the right one, either on a PS5 or on the website if you need to. The cheapest one for $2.59 is the one with both. The one that's on sale for $2.79 is just the PS4 one. You might as well get both, even if you don't have a PS5 yet. In this adventure platformer, you get to explore a serene and evocative world, free from frustration, danger, and death, brought to life through art, detailed animation, platforming, and light puzzles. It features optional skill challenges as well, and an elegant original score, which is really cool. This game just seems like a really chill and relaxing adventure platformer, with a really cool and interesting art style that's very different and unique. I really like the look of it, and if you're into games that are a bit different, I think you'll really love this game. Especially if you're not into action games and you just like exploring and adventuring in a world that's interesting, then you'll probably love it. So if you like the sound of it as much as I do, why not take a look at it? It may not be for everyone because it's a bit serene and relaxed, but hey, the graphic style is amazing, and I think it'll be a really cool little adventure for people that like this sort of thing. And hey, if you've never played an adventure platformer before, then you could definitely start here, if you like the sound of the no combat and serene adventure. If you do, then definitely take a look at it. But if not, don't worry, there's a lot of options in this genre, and you'll have plenty more to choose from in future videos as well. Giga Wrecker Alt is our next game. It was released in 2019, so it's 6 years old, and it's on at least a 90% discount for the price of £1.99 or 99 pence with PS Plus, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it for PS Plus members only. So if you've got PS Plus, it's a pretty good deal. This action platformer is set in the near future, on an Earth ravaged by an alien invasion, and the hope of humanity rests in a girl, saved from death and cursed with cybernetic powers beyond her own comprehension. It features frantic platforming, physics-based puzzles, and intense combat as well. And I'm pretty fond of the art style in this game as well. It's anime but 2D, and it looks pretty cool. The reviews are really good as well, people seem to really like it, and in general, action platformers with a bit of puzzling are usually really cool, especially when they've got good mechanics like a physics-based system like this one, or just interesting movement abilities or a world and story to enjoy. All in all, for the price, this looks like really good value. You're getting a really cool game for a really low price. So if you're into these sorts of games, definitely check it out. You can't go wrong when it's this cheap really. And hey, if you've never played an action platformer before, then you could definitely start here. It's a really decent game at a really low price. So if you've never tried this genre before, you should definitely take a look at this. It might just be the best game you've played in ages, especially if you've got PS Plus. We have a AAA game next, Judgment. It was released in 2019, so it's 6 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £8.74, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really good deal considering the quality of it. Now, just keep in mind that the PS4 version is £6.24, and there's no upgrade, so you have to make sure you pick up the PS5 or the PS4 one. They're different prices, just make sure you get the right one. In this action-adventure, a disgraced attorney, Takayuki Yagami, becomes a private detective, haunted by his past as he claws his way up through the underground crime networks to investigate a string of grisly murders. It features a really cool beat-em-up combat system and a ton of minigames as well, including some old arcade games that were also made by Sega. So if you're a big fan of Sega, there'll be some really cool Easter eggs in this, and some old arcade games you'll probably remember, like Space Harrier. Now, this game is a spin-off from the Yakuza series, which is a really good series. It's been around a long time, and that just shows the quality of them, because a franchise doesn't get to last that long without being good. And this series is a really cool spin-off, so if you're a fan of the Yakuza games, or you just like detective or action-adventure games, you'll probably really enjoy this. I've never seen it cheap before, so it's nice to see it getting down in price, because it's the first of a few games, and they've been on sale, whereas this hasn't. So if you like the sound of this, definitely check it out. You're getting a lot of game for your money, even if it's not the cheapest. And hey, if you've never played an action adventure before, then I wouldn't recommend starting here. It's not cheap enough yet, but it is a really good game. It's just at this price, you're better off starting with another series instead, because you can get plenty of other games in this genre, and even legendary ones, for cheaper than this. So you have a lot of options, and they're all really good as well. But don't worry, keep up with the videos, and then you won't miss them when they're on sale next. Live Lock is our next game. It was released in 2016, so it's 9 years old, and is on a 90% discount for the low price of 94p, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal for a cool looking game. This top-down shooter is set in a post-apocalyptic world of never-ending war between machines, where you get to play as one of the last capital intellects as you explore the remains of the world, seeking to end the war forever, unlocking Eden, and reviving humanity. It features 3-player online co-op as well. So if you like playing games with a group of friends online, this might be really good for you. At this price you can all pick it up for practically nothing and have a lot of fun together. They don't make that many top-down shooters these days, and this looks like a really cool sci-fi themed one, especially with a 3-player co-op. You really don't see co-op in these sorts of games either, so it's a really good combination, and it's at a really low price as well. So if you've got a group of friends to play with, or you just really like top-down shooters, and especially sci-fi ones, this looks like a really good game for this price. You can't go far wrong really. If you like this sort of thing, definitely check it out. It's a really great deal. And hey, if you've never played a top-down shooter before, then you could definitely start here. It's a really good little game for a really low price, especially with the co-op thrown in as well. You could have a lot of fun with this, especially if you've got mates to play with. So why not check it out? It's a really great deal, and it might just be your new favourite genre. Why not take a look? We have a racing game next, Monster Energy Supercross 5 Special Edition PS4 and PS5. It was released in 2022, so it's 3 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the low price of £4.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal, especially considering how expensive it normally is. And this edition includes the Season Pass of 10 legendary riders, 2 historic tracks, 2 new race events, neon customizations, and branded themes as well, so you get a huge amount of extra content included, which is great. This racing game features a brand new career mode where you get to start as a rookie, sign to a sponsor, create your own race team, and prove you're worthy to challenge the best and become a pro rider. It includes a track editor, esport, an online 12-player and offline 2-player multiplayer as well. So if you've got a load of friends to play with, it's really great, because I'm not sure how active the online is anymore, but hey, at least you can play locally as well. So if you like playing friends with a kid or a friend or a partner, why not take a look at this? If you're into racing games and especially motocross, then you could have a lot of fun with this game. Especially at this price, it's a really great deal. So why not take a look at it if you like the sound of it? And hey, if you've never played a racing game before, then you could start here, especially if you're really into motocross, then why not take a look? You're getting a lot of game for your money, and there's not a lot of options in this genre, and this is a really good one with a load of extra content, and all of the officially licensed content as well. So you can't ask for much more really. If you're into this sort of thing, or you've never tried it before, why not take a look? You might just have a load of fun, if you give it a chance. Oh look, another racing game next. Need for Speed Heat Deluxe Edition. It was released in 2019, so it's 6 years old, and is on a 95% discount for the low price of £3.49, which is a really great deal, especially for a big AAA game franchise, as this edition includes 4 KS Edition cars, some cosmetics, and boosters as well, so again the complete version of the game with some extra content, which is really great. In this racing game, you get to hustle by day in legal races, and then race all night in illegal street races as you compete to climb the ranks of the city street racing elite, while avoiding the elite police unit tasked with stamping out illegal street racing. Now, you should be familiar with Need for Speed now. It's been around a while, and it basically got popular by ripping off the Fast and the Furious movies. The early ones, not the rubbish ones. And it got really popular and became a legendary series. Now unfortunately, after the heyday it did have a bit of a dip where they got really bad, but these games aren't too bad, and at the price they're going for, you're getting a lot for your money and they're really good quality. So if you used to be a fan of Need for Speed, or you've never played it before, or you just like street racing, you should definitely take a look at this. You get a lot of content for your money, and at this price, you can't go far wrong, especially considering there's not a lot of street racing games around. This is still a pretty good one, with a load of really cool content. Why not take a look if you like the sound of it? And hey, if you've never played a racing game before, then you could definitely start here, especially if you're into street racing. At this price, you get a lot of game for your money. It may not be the best from the series, but it's one of the better modern ones, and it's a really good deal. So if you want to try this, why not take a look at it? It's really good, and it's well worth your time and money. And the final game I have for you is my star by One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows Deluxe Edition. It was released in 2020, so it's 5 years old, and is on a 90% discount for the price of £5.99, which is the cheapest I've ever seen it, and a really great deal considering it's an anime franchise and how expensive it normally is, as this edition includes the £15.99 DLC as well, which is the season pass with 4 additional characters and some extra outfits and skins as well. So you're getting the best version of the game with the extra content included as well, which is really great. In this fighter, you get to play as your favourite hero, or create your own including your powers and abilities, featuring a dynamic 3v3 fighting system with events as seen in the anime show. It includes local and online 2-player multiplayer, although who knows how busy that is these days. Now, in general, there's quite a lot of fighting games around, and a lot of them are attached to franchises, like Naruto or One Punch, or many others as well. You do have the legendary series that are just fighting games and don't have a franchise attached, so you have a lot to choose from, and it basically depends on do you just want a good fighter, or do you want one that's from a franchise that you really enjoy. This is a pretty good fighter, and it's from a really big franchise, in One Punch. So if you like fighting games, and you're a fan of One Punch, definitely take a look at this. If you like both, you'll probably have a great time with this game. Like I said, it's my star buy. It's well worth your time and money, I promise. And hey, if you've never played a fighter before, then you could start here if you're a fan of One Punch. But if not, you're probably better off starting with one of the other franchise fighters like Dragon Ball or Naruto, whichever one you like the franchise of. And if you're not bothered about franchises, you can get bigger AAA legendary fighting game series for cheaper than this as well. So you're much better off starting with one of them instead, if you're not bothered about the franchises. But hey, it is a really good deal, so if you're into One Punch Man, definitely check it out. But if not, don't worry, there'll be plenty more fighters for you to choose from in future videos instead. And that's all the games I have for the Dealmania PSN sale. What did you think of the games I picked? Did I pick good ones or did I pick bad ones? And what about the star buy? Did it deserve it? Or should some other game have got it instead? Leave all your comments below and we can talk about it later. Anyway, I hope you found some really cool games to play, but more importantly I hope you saved a lot of money. I'll see you guys in the next sale. Au revoir.